Yo everybody, it's your boy AG, and man, we gotta talk about Square Enix's Octopath Traveler. When this game was first shown off in the Nintendo Switch reveal event way back in January, this was one of my most anticipated Switch games, easy. Like, just the way it looked, I was like, okay, that's the game, that's gonna be the sleeper hit. I just finished playing through the demo, and it lived up to pretty much every expectation that I had for it. And let me say, if you haven't checked out the demo that's on the eShop right now, do yourself a favor and do that right after this video. Hey, you gotta support your boy here. But for real though, this game, like everything from like gameplay and presentation, and the presentation, the game just has this polished and pristine feel and look to it. It's just so nice. The best way to describe it, like, you guys know the old PS1 RPGs like Grandia and Xenogears? The game meshes pixel/sprite art together with like 3D environments, and it just looks so good here. It just really shows how far you can go with like proper art direction. It's just so easy on the eyes. Like, if you're not gonna take my word for it, when you're playing through the demo, just see how light reacts to the character sprites themselves in the 3D environment. Like, it looks so crisp. And all that's not just applying to like the overworld, like even in battles, this game just continues to tug on my nostalgia strings, like with how enemies and the characters that you play contrast in like an old school Final Fantasy way, where enemy designs are wild and big with weird proportions and expressive expressions and poses, and your character's all small and dinty. Like, it just tugs on my heartstrings, man. Like, I don't know, maybe I am just digging the game because of nostalgia values, but shit, it's working, and the game is good. Like, even the little details on the enemies, where if they're wearing extra clothing or / armor, it goes into their shield values, which is a gameplay element. And I guess I should talk about the gameplay for a bit here. In a short rundown of it, enemies have shields that you can break if you find their weaknesses, some being weak to spears, swords, dark magic, etc. And once you break the shields, they go into a dizzy state that gives you an extra turn to do something while they can't do anything. On top of that, you have the boost mechanic, which is pretty fun and easy to use, while I could definitely see it become something hard to manage / master later on when the game cranks up in difficulty. But you can also see the difficulty crank up in the demo during Ulbricht's story. Once again, that's probably another thing that I should touch on. Both stories in the demo, because you get two, were pretty damn good, one being vastly better than the other in my opinion. But I think that was done intentionally. The one that I like the most, being more story oriented, and I don't want to spoil anything, but the shit they say in Primrose's story, my guy, it got me a little bit attached to the story, and once the demo was over, I was just like, oh man, the fuck. And the other story being more action oriented, where it gets you more acquainted with the battle mechanics and shows you that the boost mechanics and the whole shield value things can get a lot deeper and difficult than what a person would first expect. But overall, with both stories, they were both really good introductions of two of the 8 protagonists that you'll be playing in the whole grand scheme of Octopath Traveler. And a thing that they all have in common is that they all have these path abilities, which adds a little bit of flavor to each story. One can use like her feminine wiles to enchant any NPC in the game and get them on her side in her party to help in like battles or other tasks. And the other could basically challenge any NPC to a duel to get rare items, get people out of ways, force your way through a path that's blocked, or basic simple grinding. And that's only 2 of these path abilities that we know of out of the 8, so I'm really interested in seeing what goes down with all 8 of them. Let me just sum this up. Overall, Octopath Traveler was one of my most anticipated games for the Switch, and now that I know that it lived up to my expectations, I hope that people give it a fair shake. It's stunning to look at, music is well composed and doesn't clash with scenes that they're implemented into, which is a problem for a lot of RPGs, heck, a lot of games nowadays. Well, not even nowadays, just period. And it has a fun / deep take on the traditional turn-based RPG gameplay, which is much needed nowadays, with a lot of devs / games opting for the switch over to action RPGs for whatever reason. It just goes to show that turn-based gameplay isn't all born like a lot of people seem to think it is. It just needs some creative minds behind it to spice it up. Prime examples of that being Persona games, and now this Octopath Traveler, which was made by the Bravely Default team at Square Enix, so take that for what it is. You know what? That's all I'm gonna say about Octopath Traveler. The demo is exactly the right move Square Enix needed to make to give this game the right amount of push onto its consumers, and I just hope that you guys give it a chance, because, you know, I probably didn't sell it all too well with just me gushing. But you know what, it's been real. It's your boy AG signing out, and I'll catch you dudes in the next video. Stay golden. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you look right above me, you can see 2 of my previous videos. So, if you feel like supporting your boy, feel free to check them out. It's okay, take your time. I'll just be right here when you're ready to watch them.